Alrighty. So, Extreme Ownership. Great fucking book by Jocko Willink. If you haven't read it, I would strongly recommend. The very, very, very short version of that, and obviously summarized in the title, is that you should take extreme ownership. And that means taking ownership for everything, even if it's not your fault. But especially when it is, you need to own it because you played a role in creating that situation. And so if you own it, though, if you take extreme ownership of it, then you can take control of the situation and you can make a change of it. So I had a situation tonight, for lack of a better term. It was deeply, deeply disheartening. I was having a conversation with my wife, talking about things, and I was telling her about something I'm working on with a good friend and mentor of mine for 126, for the Chasing Greatness universe, for this kind of stuff. I'm fucking amped about it. And I got a very, very mediocre response. And it was a little bit like, she was like, oh, okay. Fair enough then. Sounds good, I guess. And it really disheartened me, and it bugged me for a bit. And I didn't get to question her on it because, well, I had to go to work. And as I'm driving into work and I'm sitting there pondering this, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? Normally, she's my bedrock. She's the person who's been through there, through thick and thin, through all of it. To put it in perspective, when I started my gym, fucking 11 years ago, I was 21 years old, a fucking fresh-faced, nubile kid who had no fucking clue what I was getting myself in for. That first year, I made $14,500, right? In a year, I made $14,500. My rent for that place was $15,000. I didn't make any money. We lived and survived because she provided for us. I had a second job, and that covered our rent. And that was it. That's all I had to contribute to the relationship. And we survived because she did that for us. This was very early on. I started this business probably maybe 6 months into our relationship. Don't get me wrong. I knew, I knew 3 days in that this was the woman for me. This was the rest of my life. I was spending the rest of my life with this incredible woman. So I knew that we're all in, but, she took a leap of faith on me. And she put in the hard yards, and this is the part with extreme ownership and owning this stuff that is fucking hard. So for 11 years, I have been promising this beautiful, perfect woman the world that we would have enough money that we would never have to worry about anything ever again. That we would have more money than we knew what to do with. We could have the life that we had dreamed of. I have been promising her. And understandably, every single year, the faith in that has lessened. And I've still been talking about it. I know in here and in here, in my heart and my mind, that is inevitable. That I am going to get there. And especially now that I'm leaving my shadow career behind. I know for a fucking fact, as I watch all of the universe align for me as the more and more I step into who I'm meant to be, and I put my ass on the line and put my, physical manifestation where my heart is, as I step into that and I commit. I'm burning the bridges. We are fucking going. It is happening. This is what is happening, that I am going to make this a fucking reality. End of story. I have burnt the bridges. I am 100% all in. That by this time next year, this will be my whole world. This is what I do 100% of the time because it lights me up in here. It makes me a better man. It's what pushes me forward. I know that this is coming. But that beautiful woman has stood by me for 11 years and heard me promise those things and not delivered. Look, as we discussed, we have a pretty reasonable life. Like, we have a good life. My wife doesn't have to work. My business provides for everything we need. But we still have to figure it out for money. We are not living the dream life that I promised. We don't have anything and everything that we could ever want. Like, we haven't reached that. We have a good life and all that kind of stuff. But we aren't at the stage yet. So why would she? And I've made promises before, like, I'm going to do this now, and this is going to bring in X, Y, and Z. Never materialized. I've lost the art and the skill of keeping my word. She doesn't believe me anymore. Nor should she. Like, I don't resent her for this. Once I realized that, I was like, we've literally been here before many a times. And I'm like, oh, here's the next thing. Here's what we're going to do. And here's how it's going to play out. And, make all these promises. And I do this stuff and nothing ever materializes. I haven't been a man for a very long time who keeps his word. And I mean a very, very long time. And this is part of the greatness universe. It's a part of 126 to greatness. Because it starts with you. You've got to keep your word. You've got to set the standard. You've got to show that you can keep your word to yourself. That you say something and it's fucking done. End of story. It is done. That's how it starts. Then, over time, and to be honest, considering my fucking track record, it's probably going to take me a year or two of never breaking my word again before she's going to believe me. That I have to show up and deliver onto this because I haven't been that man for a long time. And that's not on her, that's on me. I have to own that. I haven't been the man that I promised I would be for her. I haven't. I let her down. She hasn't. All she's done is been a fucking rock. She's been through every iteration, every up and down, every false promise. And I forget who said it to me, but someone told me. They're like, if you make a promise and you say it's going to take 90 days or 6 months or 12 months, it better fucking take that long. It is not on them that if you say it's going to take 12 months and it takes 5 years, it's not on them that they stopped believing you. That's your fault. You didn't deliver on what you said, and you have to deliver on what you said. I've been promising for 11 fucking years, and I haven't delivered on what I said. As I said, I delivered a pretty good life. And it's not that she resents me. She loves what we've managed to build. But it still means that there are stressful situations from that. Like we're still renting a house. And we were told to leave because they're selling this house. And so we're once again, for the third time in my child's life, my daughter's life, we are moving house. For the third fucking time. She's not even 4. We are moving house again. This is part of the fucking problem. That I didn't step up. I didn't carry the load. I wasn't a man. I didn't provide properly. I am providing for my family, that I put a roof over our head, I put food on our table. But I didn't fully provide. And so I have to own that. And that hurts. It hurts more than I ever want to let on. That I have let down my wife. I have let down my children. And look, I've had these discussions with some people, and they're like, "Oh, that's a really harsh way." Yeah, but it's a fucking accurate way. I'd rather take too much ownership. Take ownership of things that are outside of my control, because then it's inside my control, because I can do something. Then be like, it wasn't my fault. Yeah. The market, life, it wasn't meant to be. Fuck that. It just means I have to step up and do more. It means I have to find a fucking way. And when that that monster. And I keep talking about it because you gotta fucking find it. When that monster inside you, well, at least in fucking inside me, is released, and I need to find a fucking way to get it done. There is nobody better in this world than me than finding a way to get it fucking done. So I am going to get this done. I've just always channeled it out of scarcity. I need to now channel it out of abundance. And I'm going to deliver for that woman. And as I said, I think it's probably going to take me 2 to 3 years of consistency. Of if I say something, it is gospel, before that trust will truly be rebuilt. And as I said, I don't fucking blame her. I don't trust me. It's what, day 57. I'm getting a shit ton better at it, but I don't trust me when I say that I'm going to do something. I haven't earned that right yet, and it's a fucking right. It's not a right, it's a privilege. I haven't earned it yet. It has to be earned. You have to show up and do that. So that's what I'm doing, day in, day out. If I say I'm going to do something, I fucking do it. And I've spoken about this before because I realized that I'm not doing enough. I created this opening list, and it's part of why I'm sharing this, is part of why I'm doing it, because I need to curate this list and make it better as I go through this process. But part of it was that I realized that it wasn't complete. The list of, the first time I did this, the list was fucking astronomical. I found a video of the contract that I'd agreed to something. It's 3.5 fucking pages. There's 22 items that I must complete daily. That's a bit insane. That's an overkill, especially when we're talking, I've still got work to do. I work 45 hours a week on the floor. And it's not including doing all the other stuff and then building this as a separate business. There is shit to get done. But within that, I have been truly lacking, finding loopholes in the eating recommendations. My current thing is there are some sweet potato chips, and they are just straight up sweet potato and salt. And they are fucking incredible, and I am eating way too fucking much of that. Yes, they're technically on the list, but I know it's not within the spirit of what I set it out to be. So I've got to remove that loophole because it's a zero choice mentality. My greatness list isn't technically part of the things that have to get done every day. That needs to fucking change. Now it needs to be done. That it is a non-negotiable. If I've written it down the night before, that work is getting done. I don't care when I get to sit down on the computer. I don't care how long it happens. That needs to become a non-negotiable. It's the same with the TV, with the social media. And there are little bits that keep slipping back. I keep finding loopholes. And I need to be better than that because I'm not keeping my word. And yes, I'm keeping my word on all these things over here, but on the other hand, I'm not on these things. So they're countering, they're canceling each other out. They're counterintuitive. So I keep fucking failing. And I think I'm going to need to attach more of it to myself to be like, well, if you don't start keeping your word on all these fronts, then you start again. And then I publicly have to shame myself that I failed. And I fucking hate failing. That competitive edge in me, oof, I've ignited it, and I need to fucking win. I need to win. I need to beat everything and win. And most of all, I need to compete against myself. That little bitch voice inside me that's like, it's fine, just relax, just keep ticking along. No. We are here to make a fucking change. Ticking along is how we spent 11 years living in a shadow career. Letting resistance fucking win. Beat me down and put me into a place where I don't want to be anymore. I had a challenge laid out to me the other day, and the scary part is it would be a challenge. And they knew how to stroke my ego. They told me that, I don't think you could even do it. I saw right through it, but it still played into it. And I sat there and I watched it, and I was like, it was fucking sad. Look, it's a financial challenge, and they're like, basically, my business couldn't outperform their business. And they're like, I don't think you could do that. And they're like, I'd love to be proven wrong, but I don't think you can. And it was deliberately incentivized so that my current business they would see me flourish in that. And yet the number was so low, and I was like, fuck. Is this how far I've sunk? Is this how far I've let myself go? That, and look, they played my ego, but there was also a bit of they thought it was true that I couldn't do that. And I was like, then I looked at my habits. I looked at my reality. I looked at where I currently am. And I'm like, based on how I'm acting, based on the past 6 months of what I've been doing, they're right. I can't beat that. But if I ignite this, if I ignite my soul and my passion and my fire in my heart, I know what I am capable of. I have history. I've shown what I can do in the past. And I have to do that again. If I ignite that, I would crush that. But that's how much of a man I have been diminished as by, letting resistance win, by living this shadow career, that those who are close to me and who want to see me succeed are looking at this going, you can't fucking do that. Holy shit, is that a wake-up call? Yeah, good. I'm doing the work on this front. Yeah, I'm doing the 126, but the other areas are not coming along as fast. They are not seeing the man who's keeping his word on that side. That needs to transition into all the areas of my life, not just this one small area. Yes, I know, eventually that will filter over into all the other areas. It's why it's built that way, because I know if you can build that accountability, that I want to say know, like, and trust, but that's the wrong terminology. That, well, maybe it is know, like, and trust of the man you actually are. There you go. My brain's ahead of my, consciousness. The know, like, and trust of the man that you truly are. It'll transition into business, into relationships, into a father, into a leader, into how you show up in all the other areas of your life. But I'm also on a condensed timeline. So I have to ramp it up. I have to force my hand. I have to, by choice, by discipline, by zero choice mentality, go, these are now non-negotiables. This is now what's happening. And do that fucking work. Do the things that have to be done. And it irks me that I have failed, that there is still this much weakness in me, that I get on here and I talk about, trimming away all the things that don't serve you, sacrificing the things that aren't bringing you happiness, growth, or money. And I'm still holding on. I'm holding on for dear fucking life, like a man drowning to those things that do not serve me. And that is not okay. Yeah, it's not. Look, and to be honest, maybe some of these things are therapy sessions, because it's talking this through has all brought to life how inauthentic I am still living. And that burden weighs heavy on my heart, because I know in some areas that I am absolutely stepping into the man I know I should be, that I am capable of being. I had a conversation with this mentor and friend that I was talking about, and I am fucking fired up to do this work with him. I know it's going to change my world. It's going to change more lives. It's going to have massive fucking impact. And yet on the flip side, I'm sitting here going, you talk a big game. It's time to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. Fuck. I knew this would be raw. I knew this is why I wanted to do it. It's just fucking, this is it. This is me in real fucking time processing my emotions on what I'm truly doing. And that's the part of introspection. That's the part of truly taking ownership. That I've reached a point already where I'm fucking coasting, and that is just unacceptable behavior. I'm destined for more. I can feel it in here. But this behavior is going to burn out that passion and that fire that I've started to stoke again. And I cannot let that happen. I cannot let resistance and my shadow career and my shadow choices crush this. It's still just an ember waiting to be ignited. to change this world, change the world of my wife's world, my world, my kids' worlds, all those around me, to impact on a greater scale. It's time to take extreme ownership. If I'm going to step into this and be the man that I know I can be, to lead by example, I'm going to have to own this. Fuck, that hurts. So, I leave you today with maybe not my most inspiring episode and not my best deliverance, but with true, raw, unadulterated honesty that the introspection has brought to life, and you have to shine a light on the things that aren't working. And I'm failing. But today is the beginning of a new dawn. That I have brought all those failures out into the limelight for the world to see. And they will now be burnt accordingly. Because I refuse to let this be what defines me. I refuse to do so good in the other areas and then to be brought down by these other self-sabotaging habits. I am better than that. Fuck. I am. I know I am. And I need to sit in this pain. I need to sit in this hurt. I need to sit in the honest to God realization of how many people I'm fucking letting down by not doing all the work. I'm doing the work, but it's not all of the work. It's not the work that truly pushes you forward into the next timeline, the next level of success yet. So I'm just going to sit here for a little while and take the medicine. Let that be ingrained into my heart, the failure on that, and then turn that into rocket fuel to turn it around to something better. So that is what I'm going to do. And I'll leave you there as I sit with this pain, this frustration, and the knowledge that I have failed those who matter most to me. But it's okay, because that fuel is good, and it gives me an opportunity tomorrow to do better, to truly step into that power and cut away all that shit that doesn't serve me. It's not going to be easy. It's going to fucking hurt. But if it was easy, everyone would do it. And that's the truth of the fact. The reason why this is so uncommon is because people don't want to face these truths. Especially not in a public setting, but they don't want to face their own demons and bring them out and inspect them and see where they were deficient and then deal with it and rebuild and get stronger. But that's what we're here for. We aren't here to take the easy route. We're here to do the work, to chase greatness, to see what our potential truly is, to see where we could end up if we just do the work day in, day out, zero choice mentality, to evaluate where we're lacking, to build that up and be better. So, as I said, I think I'm going to take a few minutes. I'm going to sit in this pain. And I appreciate you listening to as I, unburden this frustration. As I got it out there. And it's out there for the world to see now. So it's time to do better, to be better. And I look forward to sharing you the next development and iteration of myself. Until then.